Hey guys, and welcome back to another Atomic Drop podcast. This is Joe, joined by Keaton as always.
Ding, ding, ding.
There's Bell for another episode of our wrestling podcast, which at least 20 people tune into every month. So we're really glad that at least some of you guys probably listen, even if you don't know what we're talking about. But we always enjoy talking about wrestling. And man, it's been like, since the last one, like a lot of crazy stuff has happened that we can talk about. We had WrestleMania, we had NXT Dallas. We had New Japan putting on a pay-per-view. All sorts of crazy stuff.
There's been a lot. There's been so much more than I could have ever anticipated happen in like a month span.
so much good wrestling. I mean, even when you look at the indie scene in a minute, you've got like places like Evolve and like Pro Rev, like putting on really good shows and stuff, and just all around like really great stuff. But we're going to obviously talk about some of the more key points. And I don't even know, honestly. We're not going to do a rundown of any pay-per-view. We're just going to talk about stuff all over the place. But
let's go in chronological order at least. Let's talk a little bit about WrestleMania in the shortest of senses, because I don't know about you, but I can pretty much summarize it in maybe one or two sentences, and that's pretty much loved to see the evolution of the women's division, or the return, I should say, of the women's division.
Yeah, that was a really big highlight, man. I'm really glad that the women's division finally got announced.
As a side note, can I just say that I love the new women's championship? I love the fact that it's literally pretty much the exact same thing as the heavyweight championship, just in red and white, which looks beautiful.
It looks really good, man. A lot better than the vagina belt that the Divas belt was. That was long overdue to get replaced, so that is definitely a really big plus. I'm really happy with that. But
I feel like other than that, like WrestleMania in general is pretty underwhelming, and it was to the point where like I personally felt that had Raw not been good, or had the follow-ups not been as good, I was pretty much done with watching like Raw in general, because it was so deflated. I was so deflated at the end of WrestleMania.
I'll tell you what it was with Mania as well. Like, oh man, I've had such a busy few weeks, and it kind of this Mania felt like the worst possible time for me for a lot of like, obviously if you don't watch the cleanup cast or other stuff. But I moved house, I didn't have the internet whilst that was on. But I also had to attend one of my best friend's weddings. A little personal insight. And that was on the same weekend, and like the wedding was the next day, so I wasn't even sure if I was going to be watching this live. But me and my friend ended up staying up, and the thing is with this was it actually ran over like an hour. Like, did you notice that too, right?
Yeah, it was too much as well. It's too much.
I was like, it was bad enough when it was meant to be finishing at 3:45 in the morning for me, when I've got to get up for a wedding. But when it's finishing at like 5 o'clock in the morning for me, and I've got like 3 hours, it was really bad, dude. It ran so long over. Like, I really wasn't interested in the Triple H and Reigns match at the end. I was just like, please just be over. It was like a chore watching the ending, actually. But there was some good spots in the card. A lot of stuff that did kind of wake me up and kind of kept me watching. Obviously, we had like Shane McMahon's like crazy jump off the cell.
Yeah. To this day, though, I still feel like none of that was necessary. The entire match was not necessary.
It's going to be a memorable moment for sure, like when he jumped off.
Yeah.
But the whole thing was like it's kind of just a moment on its own. If you kind of forget everything else that went with it, it's kind of easily forgettable because there wasn't really much point to it. But that moment in itself, I liked how the fans were like chanting, "Please don't die," and like a lot of them were saying, "Don't do it," because I was one of those people. I was like, "No, dude, you don't even have to do this."
Yeah.
But I guess props to Shane if he wanted to do it. But good moment.
I think that was pretty much WrestleMania in a nutshell. It's just that there were a few moments that were notable, but overall, it wasn't a very good show. And I still maintain that I think WrestleMania is not so much about pleasing wrestling fans anymore as it is making a spectacle and investing in like sponsorships and collaborations and all of this. It's like the one time a year WWE really tries to make money or something,
Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
Yeah, it's not like the wrestling event anymore.
But there was some, I mean, I said we weren't going to talk about the pay-per-views, but now I just want to talk about some stuff that happened. Like, I was really surprised that Zack Ryder won it. That was cool to me.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I'll take it. Like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, I'm really glad he got a moment out of it. That was cool. Didn't like Jericho going over AJ. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Didn't make
didn't
much sense to
understand.
me.
I honestly didn't understand a lot of the finishes. Like Jericho
Right.
AJ one was one of them. The Undertaker and Shane was another one. I felt just like, especially the way
Right.
that the WWE has continued that storyline, so to speak. I just
Yeah.
feel like, why didn't they just let Shane win that one? I don't know. I guess to
Yeah.
protect Undertaker's legacy, but
Yeah, I
I don't
guess,
know.
Shane winning Overtaker doesn't make much sense. I can see why,
But
but
the whole
I,
thing didn't make sense.
yeah, nothing made nothing made sense. But let's just sweep that one to the rug. And
Yeah,
anything else that happened in Mania, dude? I can't remember. Shaq was there, whatever. Baron
yeah.
Corbin.
Yeah, Baron Corbin. That was a nice surprise. I thought that he was gonna. I thought he was gonna have like the Hideo Itami position where he was there,
Right.
but he was gonna get eliminated. So it was nice to see him actually win.
Yeah, that was really cool actually. And since we just mentioned him, let's just segue into like the call-ups that did happen like after Mania and around
Well,
Mania
first
time.
off, let's talk about we actually went in. We didn't go in chronological order because
Yeah, we
Takeover
missed.
happened before that. So before we get
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
call-ups, let's talk about probably one of my favorite pay-per-views, if you even call it that, in a while. Holy
was
moly,
amazing.
that thing was awesome from top to bottom.
It was so good. Started with the American Alpha match. Really good match.
Yeah.
The whole crowd was really on point for the most of it. I
Yeah.
did have some gripes with the crowd,
I
but
don't think the Revival get enough love. I think they did a really solid job, and
oh yeah, they're really good. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But let's just go straight to Nakamura, man, because
Hell,
that match, man, fuck me, that match was so. I must have watched it at least 3 times just that weekend. Like after it aired, it was like so good, dude. It
Yeah.
was like easily one of the best matches I've seen in like a long time. I don't think it could have gone any better. Like the whole thing was just so fucking good. Like
Yeah.
everything
And,
about it.
and that Fight Forever chant, I was right there with the crowd, man.
Yeah, man. Like the crowd did an amazing job in that match. Like, oh man, and like, can we just take a moment to say how good Nakamura's music is? Fuck,
Yes.
that is like the best theme ever. I've like had it in my head since I think it like debuted at #1 on like the soundtrack charts.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
dude,
I've
that song
seen
is
some
good.
people say like it's not as good as Subconscious.
Yeah,
I gotta say though, I feel like this theme in particular really summarizes
yeah.
the strengths of Nakamura. Like
It's epic.
everything about it, like the way the song's built, everything
Yeah.
that it encompasses, it pretty much encompasses what Nakamura brings to
Yeah.
wrestling, you know.
It was awesome, dude. His whole entrance was
Yeah.
fucking great. Like, I could just talk about this whole podcast could be about that match. It was just,
Yeah.
like there's good matches like all the time, but then there's matches that come along and it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
man, that was something special. You know what I mean? Like that was a really
Yeah.
good match. And
I feel like this match, the Zayn Nakamura match, is going to be like the new measuring stick for
Yep.
premium NXT matches going forward. So
was it as good as Sasha and Bailey? I don't know. Very different kind of matches, but
yeah, they're different matches. Like, yeah, in terms of storytelling, definitely Bayley
Yeah.
Sasha. But in terms
Yeah.
of just pure like athleticism and just like,
But then you say that, but then the more you watch this match and like you kind of realize that it might be Zayn's last match in NXT. It's really capped off really well. Like
yeah,
it was just so good. Like to show respect to end, which obviously everybody expects that these days. But like
Yeah.
because it was like Zayn's the kind of last appearance maybe for NXT, it was just amazing. I've watched that match a few times and
yeah, it
really
was just
good.
it was great from start to finish, and I'm so happy to see that. Pretty much nothing has changed with Nakamura. Like Nakamura is still the same charismatic, crazy guy that he was in New Japan. He's the exact
Yeah.
same guy here. And I know a lot of people were afraid that he was going to get gimped or treated differently,
Right.
but he came out a star, and he's got a great future ahead of him, I think.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited, man. Just think about the matches he could have. Even his match against Ty Dillinger this past week on NXT was
Yes, I wanted to bring that up. Like, Ty Dillinger, I love the man. Like,
Yeah,
he's
it's so
probably
good.
one of my favorite NXT guys. Even though he doesn't really get anywhere,
Yeah.
like, he has been such a solid worker. And seeing him go against Nakamura was just, like, so
was fun.
good.
It was just fun, man.
Yeah.
And like even his promo before the match, I thought was great. Like he did
Yeah.
a really good job, and like he just made like a nothing match. Like actually, I mean Nakamura made it big because it's Nakamura, obviously.
Yeah.
But like he held his own, I think, even just with that short promo and just those little kind of moments in the ring where they're having fun with like the 10 count and like it was just really good. But man, we could talk about Nakamura all day.
Yeah.
But I'm just so excited to see what's next for Nakamura, and I kind of avoid the spoilers. I don't really read up on like the TV tapings because I just like to watch it, But
yeah,
I'm just excited to see what comes soon. That'll be good, whatever he does. I mean, the roster's getting so fucking good now. Like, the prospects of matches they can have, like not even on NXT, but even on the main roster, is getting really good at the moment.
Yeah.
And anything else you want to touch on at NXT? I mean, everything else was
the women's
it was
match
all good.
Was great. It was interesting. I saw some people's reactions, like saying like, "Oh, I guess Asuka's not getting a reaction because when she won, people weren't very happy." I don't think that's the case. I think it was the case of we all love Bayley so much,
right?
We just don't want to see her lose.
Yeah, it's one of those awkward situations where they're both faces, and like people want them both to win, and like it was a good match, and man, it was. I think like crowd burnout is a thing. I don't know if it really played much of a factor, but it did go on after Nakamura and Zayn and
anyone who went after. I remember thinking after that match was done, I was like, I feel so bad for whoever has to follow that up.
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately, I think it was the women's championship after that. So
yeah. But Joe and Baylor, solid match, ruined by doctors coming in trying to stop the bleeding.
I don't know. I felt like it added to it.
Yeah, it didn't hinder them much. Like, you know what I mean? They took it in stride, and it like it wasn't a big thing, but
I mean, the way I saw it
cases,
was like I felt like Joe being so reluctant to even stopping for a second really added to the sort of drama. Like, let him fight, man. Just stop. Getting in his way.
Yep.
But I mean, on one hand, I can understand why. Like, you don't want a dude getting blinded or whatever, because it looked like it happened to his eye. I think, if I remember correctly. So definitely with eye injuries, you don't want to take it, lightly.
Yeah,
but
and I like colour in matches. I think it adds to the drama and stuff. But it did happen right at the start, and I think I also read somewhere that because it's in the like state of because it was in Dallas, like the state commission like has something about blood not being allowed, so they have to like patch it up as soon as possible or something. I don't know if that was true, but man, it was fucking such a great card. Like, I enjoyed it more than Mania.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'd say. I mean, Nakamura and Zayn alone was like the best match, probably not even the weekend, all year. Maybe it's hard to say, but
it was definitely probably one of my top matches of this year so far.
Yeah, and I didn't expect anything less. Like, I actually exceeded my expectations. Like, I expected good things, but it was like even better. Like, I just thought. Yeah. It was just good. One thing that did annoy me, actually, I will touch on this because I did mention it when we started talking about the NXT card, is like the crowd. Really good crowd, like really into it. But one thing I did fucking hate, man, was when in the American Alpha match, I guess like they messed up a spot or something. And the crowd is like chanting, "You fucked up," and "Botchamania." And like, I know it's going to happen and stuff, but like, come on, man. It's like, they've been wrestling for like 15 minutes, not fucked up anything. They like mess up like one spot, I guess, and like all of a sudden it's like all around fucking botchamania. I just think that's like disrespectful, man. Like,
yeah, I think that's the problem with going for like the very internet savvy crowd is, there's sometimes they get ahead of themselves and then they start, making it about them over the talent.
I know that's been a big issue in like past like NXT shows, but
like I hate it when like they start chanting for other wrestlers, chanting for like CM Punk or doing the wave. I'm just like,
I hate the CM Punk chant. Yeah,
there's just some things you shouldn't do.
Yeah, and chant anything else you want. I did like it when Shane McMahon's kids were chanting like bullshit.
Were they?
Yeah, like Linda and Steph was in the crowd, and like they had Shane's like kids with them, and they was like chanting like bullshit and like fuck PG along with the rest of the crowd.
Oh, no way!
And Linda's face was just like dead stone face, but Steph was like loving it. She was like laughing and stuff. But
wow,
that was a pretty good note on that. But all around good stuff. And then obviously we had Mania, and we talked about Baron Corbin coming up. And I guess like Raw after Mania, looks like there's a few more people being called up now. So looks like, I mean, it normally happens after Mania, doesn't it? But it looks like we've got like Apollo Crews coming up to the main roster now, and Enzo and Cass as well.
Yeah, can we just
that's pretty cool.
Take a second to appreciate? Finally, we get to see these guys in full form, and they are just killing it.
They're doing amazingly well, man. I'm so glad the live crowds. I mean, the towns they've been in since are like pretty wrestling savvy crowds anyway. But I'm hoping it catches on, and they're doing a really good job, man. I love Enzo and Cass, dude. They're like really. It's like a breath of fresh air for me. Like I just like, I like these guys.
The thing is, like, you don't see personalities like Enzo anymore. Like no one is able to just fire off those kinds of insults or just speak the way he does. Like everyone sort of just has this monotone, sort of just straightforward, very stilted presentation, I guess.
Yeah.
That it's a breath of fresh air to see someone like Enzo who can just go bam, 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 you know.
Yep. Yeah, can't be happy to see those guys up. Looks like they're getting like a little bit of a feud going with the Dudleys at the minute. Really enjoying all that work. Anything that adds to the tag division is a good thing on the main roster because let's be honest, it's not been the best for a while. But looks like
the New Day need more blood, man.
Yep, exactly. And
which is great. So that we're seeing the tag team tournament going on now.
Yeah, even the Vaudevillains have been called up now.
Yeah,
as well.
I'm afraid for that though because the Vaudevillains, I love the Vaudevillains, but
but can it get over on the main roster? Like,
they are a hard sell, and I have a feeling that they are dead in the water from the start, which is going to be unfortunate.
I'm gonna be interested to see how they do, but after how like Breeze has been treated since he's gone up, I feel like maybe they'll be jobbing in the same way he is, but we'll see what happens. But obviously Corbin went up. He's got a big push because obviously he won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. And it looks like he's got like a main spot there now, which I think is a good thing. I'm not really bothered about him being called up. I think, he's been in NXT for a while. He didn't win the belt in NXT, but why not? You know what I mean? Like, I think, why not? I actually quite like him. I've never really been too sold on him in the past, but like I've actually come round to him. I like the kind of like indie killer gimmick he's got. You know what I mean? I really like that side of him. But I'm interested to see what kind of stuff he does. Like when he comes on, I'm not like fuck me, it's Baron Corbin. You know what I mean? I'm actually kind of interested to see how well he does now. I think it'll be good for him. And I can imagine he was frustrated being in NXT as well because he'd been down there so long.
Sure. I was hoping he would sort of have an extended program with Austin Aries though. Would have loved to see them go more at it.
We didn't even touch on that match. I felt like that match fell flat a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was what it was, but I'm excited to see what Aries does in the future and what Corbin does from now on as well. I don't think Apollo should have been called up so soon.
Yeah.
But I like him. He's very talented, but he's just a bit too white meat for me at the minute. Like, I don't really...
He needs some kind of personality or something.
Yeah, I'm hoping...
He needs an injection of charisma.
Yeah, because he's so good, man, and like I'm not bored of seeing him, but I fear that I would be at some point if he just kind of stays along the road he is. And he's a good feud. He needs like a chance to like cut some good promos, but again, we can't
I'm
really
afraid
comment
he's gonna get like Shelton Benjamin treatment, where like he's very skilled and he can work well in the ring, but if he can't really connect, then he's gonna flounder. So. Fingers crossed.
And, man, I think that's everyone who's been caught up unless I'm forgetting somebody, but there was a couple of sightings at NXT of like new people possibly coming into NXT, which I thought was pretty cool, and it was like actually took me by surprise. So we actually saw like Bobby Roode like in the crowd, and I guess that's like a bit of a tease of him coming into the WWE. What do you make of that?
I think it's interesting. The dude is I think he already he's in his 40s now, right?
Yeah, he's getting on, dude. Yeah.
I guess better late than never, but I'm not sure how much he can still go. Like I haven't seen the last time I saw him, he was still in TNA.
Yeah,
doing something.
Pretty much left TNA and then straight up turning NXT. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's where he's been. But yeah. I'm interested. Like from what I remember seeing of him, he was a solid worker, so I guess...
Yeah, it's good, man. I'm excited. Really good on the mic and stuff, and looking forward to see what he does. There's a lot of people he could feud with in NXT as well, though, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And And then we saw like Kota Ibushi as well show up, who was like from New Japan.
That was probably the bigger surprise.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what's he doing here? That was crazy. And at the moment, like, it's not even confirmed he's coming in, but I assume he is. Why would they show him if he wasn't? You know what I mean? So, like, that's going to be exciting, because that dude is a good wrestler, man.
I think I read rumors that, like, they anticipate he'll probably be part of the global cruiserweight thingy.
Right.
Which would explain he's a pretty talented high flyer, so...
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of... That tournament, man, that's going to be awesome to watch. I'm really excited for that. But, yeah, it's cool to see those guys show up, and, yeah, it's like NXT's looking good at the minute. And I'd even say that this past week, did you watch Raw this past week? It was fucking awesome, dude. It was a good show.
Yeah. Ever since WrestleMania, it's like they flipped the script and they've totally changed how they're approaching everything. I mean, the main event is still kind of lackluster, but everything else has been very solid.
Yeah, like even the Raw after Mania didn't excite me too much. It was good, but last week's Raw, man, I was like really down. I was like, yeah, this is like not one thing bored me apart from the main event. Like, had some great matches on there. Cesaro's back. That is awesome to see. Really, I
love how he tears his suit off every time now.
Yeah, whatever. It's like the professional himself. I actually like that. It's like, I loved it when it's like in the back and he cut a promo and he had like a fucking like earpiece in.
I don't know. It seems like they're just throwing everything at the wall, because like his intro is bizarre now, because or at least this recent intro where like Shane McMahon I think was out there still, and like Cesaro walks out from the side and he has like the James Bond reticle thingy. And when he tears off his suit, then it goes into the Cesaro like light spin thing. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on right now, but whatever, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, I like it. I'll take it, man. But yeah, we had some really good main events recently as well, man. Like, what was it? Who did AJ face last week? It was AJ versus Zayn, right? And then if Zayn beat him, he would have got into a triple threat with AJ.
I was honestly hoping for a triple threat, man.
Yeah, but I'm not too mad, because I would like. There's so many, like, I'd love to see a Zayn and Owens feud like fully fleshed out on the roster, and it might go there. We don't know yet, but what the fuck? Why is AJ facing Reigns for the title at Payback? What?
Yeah, I don't know. This is where it gets interesting, because again, you know how I was saying, like, maybe the fact that they were focusing on Reigns so much pre-WrestleMania was because of the investments and everything. Right. You know, so maybe now that WrestleMania is over, maybe now WWE is going to start shifting gears into another direction, and maybe AJ might take the title, and something might change. You know, we never know at this point. Like, I feel like the WWE has changed so drastically in like the last couple of weeks. The fact, like, they're focusing so much on younger talent and like this up and coming stuff. Like, I feel like there's a little bit of air of uncertainty going on now.
Yeah, it's exciting, dude. Like, I'm really, like, everything is just going well at the minute. Like, I really can't. It's pretty much what you wanted like a year or two ago. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and now it's like feels like something's actually finally happening. Maybe you can actually see a change now. You know what I mean? You can actually see, like, the way things maybe are going. Like, all these younger guys who's like wrestled around the world, thanks to NXT and things like that. It's there's some really exciting, like, AJ Styles is in the WWE. What the fuck, dude? Yeah, like, it's crazy. I think you have like Zayn versus AJ, which was like an amazing match. What was the first match? It was Cesaro versus Kevin Owens, right? I mean, come on,
that was a great match too.
Yeah, man, and like all these matches, like, can you imagine like just seeing, like, you like look at NXT and WWE separately, but then when you look at the roster as a whole, you've got like Owens versus like Nakamura, like, again, and like AJ versus, like, you know, it's like, it's just such a good field at the minute. There's so many, and he always bringing new people in. It's exciting.
Yeah, like Ciampa and Gargano, I think, are officially signed now.
Yeah.
So, whew.
Yeah. So good, man. So many.
Should we talk about the final sighting, the new sighting, the one that's pretty much making everyone go crazy?
Oh yeah, we should. And this was this past week on Raw, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, let me tell you a story about this, right? I was watching it live and I was loving Raw, man. I was like into it. and Usos came on. I thought, oh fucking the Usos, you know what I mean? I can't.
Yeah.
If Raw's gonna stay as good as it is, like this is my chance to go and get a drink right now. So I went downstairs, got a drink, came back, and what do I see? A fucking replay of fucking Gallows, fucking and Anderson coming in and like apparently kicking the shit out of the Usos, and I'm like, fuck, I missed it. So apparently Bullet Club are now in the WWE finally made their debut. Man, what did you feel about that?
Yeah, that was a moment. Like, it didn't click originally. Like, I just saw like two bald men. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Right.
And then, because I was only half watching, because again, like it was the Usos, so I was like,
yeah,
whatever.
exactly, man.
And I see like out of my peripheral two bald men attacking the Usos. I'm like, wait, what? And then I was just like, oh, what? That's Anderson and Gallows. But what's interesting though is that so they haven't officially been given a name or anything, but I saw a YouTube video on their the WWE channel citing them as Bullet Club. So that's
like
interesting.
Like some people are referring to it as Bullet Club, but like, and then like in the scrolling tweets on like the Raw, like people were like hashtagging Bullet Club and stuff like that you do on the show. But like, I don't think they've got the rights to that name, so it kind of feels like an outsiders like angle at the minute. Like no one knows what they're going to be called, or like, are they going to go with AJ? Is Baylor going to get called up and do something with him? Is that even going to be a thing right away? I think I'd love to see some. Imagine if Reigns went with him. Oh, just turn Reigns heel, please. I'm going to beg every week, every month, every day. It's just like, it's just shit.
It would be.
It's just shit at the minute. How like that's the only stale thing about it. You know what I mean? Like the product, I'd say.
Sure.
Like
yeah. I mean, it would be cool though. Imagine if Reigns just goes more of the silent route, like he was in the Shield. And you just have this like three sort of silent wrecking crew, just like dominating the scene. That would be pretty cool. I agree.
I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm the guy.
Look, I love that. I thought that was the best way to address a crowd.
It was good the first time.
Well, I didn't see his follow-ups. I just saw that one.
No, he used it again last week. I'm like, really again, dude? I liked it the first time. It was so good, but then he used it again, and I'm like, still good, but please don't use it again, dude.
Yeah,
it's like gonna be a new. It's like it doesn't suit. It's like something you say once and like that's cool as fuck. Yeah, dude. Like, you know.
Yeah. Then again, that might be more like on the writer's side, like being like, remember when he started attacking people's testicles, and then that was a thing for like a couple of weeks.
I've actually got to say, these past couple of weeks has actually been better. Like his promos, I feel like it feels like there's still things about. I like Roman as a person now. Like I actually like him.
Yeah.
I feel like he gets a rough fucking deal from the fans sometimes, and you know, it's not his fault, but I can kind of understand it in a way because the fans aren't booing him; they're kind of just booing like WWE, I guess. But like, I feel bad for him, dude. I just want him to do well, and I think. I'm sure even he wants to be heel at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man, but yeah.
Well, I think he's smart enough to understand that they shouldn't be resting all the responsibility and spotlight on him to begin with. You know, I'm pretty sure he understands that it takes more than just him at the helm. You know, John Cena can barely do it, so
right.
What makes them think that Roman Reigns can do it?
Exactly. But yeah, man, let's got a couple more things to talk about before we start wrapping this up. Obviously, we had the New Japan kind of pay-per-view Invasion Attack.
Oh
Is that what it was called? Yeah, I watched that, man. That was a good show, dude. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've been slowly trying to keep following New Japan's pay-per-views. Yeah. Kind of tough to do because they happen at like the dead of night for me. So.
Yeah, well, it's even worse for me to like start at like 6 a.m. in the morning. Like that's even worse for me than starting at like 1 a.m. when WWE does. Like, but yeah, man, it's a really good show. Like, really enjoyable stuff. Usual contenders really stood out. Will Ospreay, I love him, man. He's so good.
Yeah, apparently that was his debut match, and damn, that was a hell of a way to debut.
Yeah, in New Japan at least. I've seen him in like Evolve and like. You know, Rev Pro and all over the world, basically. But
that was my first time ever seeing him in a match, and he was
really
Yeah, he was pretty much the hype. It was like the equivalent of like the Nakamura sort of a hype,
Mm.
like living up to that. So
Yeah. Oh, it's so good, man. It's only
impressive stuff.
22.
I
And he's
know.
from the UK. I feel like a right fucking bum.
Yeah, just knowing that he's so young yet so talented and accomplished at that age, I just feel so just like, God damn it, what am I doing with my life?
Dude, I say that all the time these days, man. These wrestlers get younger. Everything I follow gets younger. You know what I mean? It's like I feel so old, but like he'll be in WWE one day, and
Yeah.
it's amazing already. So
Yeah,
I
I
really
also
enjoy
have to
watching
give
him.
props to Kushida because he really
Oh,
helped Osprey
yep,
how you
amazing.
pronounce it. It was
Osprey,
a
yeah,
it was a really good match.
yeah,
In
it's really
fact, pretty
good.
much the entire card was great. Like
It was
s-
good.
I still love seeing Shibata just kill people. Just
Yeah,
the most stiffest things. Here's the thing, man. I love the dude. Love his offense. He's just, the probably the most brutal wrestler today. I don't know. Maybe Ishii's up there with him, but
right.
he's gotta stop doing headbutts, man. All these, it's just like skull on skull headbutts. I'm just every time it
Yeah,
happens, I'm just like, stop. You do so well. You're
yep.
talented. You've got so much offense. Stop headbutting each other straight on. Damn it.
I know, dude. That's it. It's like it's crazy. Like you just watching it, you just get uncomfortable watching it.
I'm like
But yeah,
screaming at my screen. I'm like, stop it. Oh my
yeah.
god.
I know, dude. And yeah, Ricochet and
Yes. Ricochet and Matt Sydal,
yeah,
just doing their thing so well.
dude, they like team up on a lot of like indie shows these days. Not even on New Japan. Like they've like I've actually seen them wrestle before as well, like each other. And
Mm.
man, Ricochet is just so good. Like
He's so crisp. Everything he does is just like he makes it look so easy.
yeah, if he's not in that, if he is not in the tournament for the WWE, I'm gonna be pissed. But again, there's a lot of stuff that could go on there. Contracts. I don't know how things work.
Yeah.
Um, Lucha Underground obviously has a hand in stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they have a hand in whether he can participate in WWE or not,
Mm.
but I'm sure we'll touch on that more. Anything else you want to talk about the New Japan card? Um,
I just got it's the weirdest thing the whole Okada Naito, the main event for
yeah,
the New Japan Heavyweight Championship, I think.
yeah,
Just wow. Talk about like I remember last pay-per-view like Okada was like the man, like the
yeah,
Rainmaker, he was like
yeah,
super cool pretty boy whatever. And now
yeah,
Naito
yeah.
like this weird kind of like
It's
doesn't
crazy,
give a
dude.
damn about anything guy. He was
Have
like
you seen his
getting
interviews?
I know.
Like, it's,
Did you see the whole post-match thing? He beats up the Red Shoes, the referee. He
yeah,
beats up the referee, throws the belt. I'm just like, wow, man. This is like a step above Stone Cold levels of doesn't give a damn about authority, man. This,
yeah. This actually felt real.
yeah, this felt like a little uncomfortable about how much he's just disrespecting everything. But
Yeah,
okay, let's see where this goes. And I gotta admit, it intrigues me a lot. I want to see what happens next with this whole thing with
yep,
his faction, which is apparently something he joined in Mexico, which is just
right.
and apparently that whole taunt that he does with his eye is because in Mexico people told him to open his eyes, so he started doing it as a
Right.
taunt.
Yeah, yeah,
It's crazy to hear like some of the history behind these situation
yeah,
and just wow. Because apparently Naito, before he went to Mexico, was like sort of generic and boring. And then he came back from
right.
Mexico with this whole doesn't give a damn attitude. And now people
Yeah,
love it. So,
yeah. I
wow.
actually read a recent interview of him talking about Mexico, and yeah, it was basically. I think he like. I don't want to power. I don't know. Should I paraphrase? I'm pretty sure he said something like, "You're not like a real wrestler unless you've like gone to Mexico or something." But yeah, New Japan's looking good.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. We'll go for another few minutes, another than 5 minutes. Let's see if you can do your monthly wrap up on
Oh.
Lucha Underground and tell us what's going
Well,
on
I'm
there.
gonna flip the switch here a bit.
Right.
I've been just praising Lucha Underground
Yeah.
for the last how many episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still great. Don't get me wrong, but I am concerned about Lucha
Right.
Underground's future, mostly
Why?
because I feel like as this season has continued, I'm afraid that, and this is gonna sound a little hipster, but I feel like maybe Lucha Underground's downfall will be the fact that it gets too popular too quick.
Right.
Because I feel like, especially just from like what you get from Lucha Underground, like the first season was great because it had characters that you really wanted to invest in. You know,
Right.
you had characters like King Cuerno. You had you know, you had the whole rivalry between Phoenix and Mil Muertes. You had
Right.
you had freaking Prince Puma, which was like the centerpiece of Lucha Underground for the entire first season. And then you get to season 2, and a lot of those characters are not really integral to Lucha's story. And I feel like Lucha Underground is since it's a very narrative-based show, and it is a show. I feel a little underwhelmed by, like, there's so much new talent coming in that they are giving proper time to these characters, but as a result, like, characters that were getting built up in the first season are sort of going wayside. Like King Cuerno, he was like in the first couple of episodes for season 2, and so he sort of drifted off. I don't even know where he is.
Right.
And you know, Prince Puma, the centerpiece of season 1, is now, granted, he's still in a great place right now in season 2, but he's nowhere near the royalty or the centerpiece that he was in season 1. You know, and I've heard a little spoiler rumblings about the possible future of some of the characters of Lucha Underground in season 3 because it's being recorded now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like it's gonna get that much better, sadly. You know.
So,
yeah.
Just spoilers in case anyone is like listening to this who doesn't watch. So Prince Puma is Ricochet, right?
Yeah.
And I've read that they pretty much undervalued him, and like I'm now realizing, like, shit, we actually need to pay this guy. So maybe he's gonna make like I've heard that they're actually in, I don't know, I don't follow it, so I don't really know, but like I've made a deal with him to like actually show up more regularly now, like maybe for season 4 or something, or no, 3, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not too sure of the specifics. I've just heard rumblings that there is a spoiler that apparently in season 3 something with Prince Puma involved that could possibly mean that Ricochet is free to do other things, you know. So
okay, yeah.
I don't know, man.
I read that Prince Puma's contract, like after June or July, Ricochet has actually got no dates booked. So I'm hoping he kind of shows up in the tournament for WWE. But
yeah, I read a rumor that apparently had Ricochet dropped the titles at Invasion Attack, that it was possible that was a sign that he was going to go to WWE at some point, and he did drop the titles at Invasion Attack. So who knows?
Can you imagine a WWE with like with fucking Will Ospreay, Zack Sabre Jr., like Ricochet, like all those guys in it? Like what? It would be insane, dude.
Yeah, hopefully they all can somehow participate in the Global Cruiserweight Championship, whatever it's called.
I'm excited for that.
I'd really love to see like some of those guys.
So excited for that, man. So excited, because like I like watch a lot of like the indies, and it'd be good to see some of these matches get like more of a center stage. You know what I mean? Like get some exposure, because like there's some good wrestlers, man. Some really good wrestlers. Like if you listen to this and maybe you only watch like WWE or whatever, NXT, and you don't know who these wrestlers are, man, it's like there's just so much good talent out there. But yeah, before we wrap it up, can we just talk about how awesome the Miz is? Let's just talk about it for a minute. He's so good, dude. I don't care what anyone says, but it's like every time he's on screen, dude, I just laugh, man. I just laugh so much. I love how Maurice is back now with him as well. I think that's like, it's just so stupid, but it's like so great at the same time. Like, did you see that where he like spat water out, and she's like, "No, wait, that's domestic." Yeah, and it's like, oh, dude, best segment.
Yeah, the Miz has got the whole sort of diva thing down pat right now.
Oh yeah. They're just so good, man. I love Miz as like a character. Just so good. I don't know why I even thought like bringing that up at the end, but I just had to mention it because it just made me laugh so much. Yeah, it's just one of the moments where you're watching wrestling, you think, this is so fucking stupid. Why am I watching? Why am I watching this? You know what I mean? But like, this is why you're watching it, because it's just so fucking stupid. But
when you put it in the context of that backstage event or that backstage or whatever situation, it was Cesaro, who is known for tearing his suit off before he goes to the ring with a random earpiece, taunting the Miz, who's like in a robe,
with cucumbers on his head.
Yeah, with his wife, who was just lecturing a man about M&Ms prior to this. And then they go through the whole thing, and then Miz goes to take a swig of water, and she smacks it out of his hand, and she goes, "No, it's domestic. Don't drink that." What?
It was just good because it was like a callback to like the joke she made earlier about it being domestic, and then he like drinks it. It's just, man, I don't know. That segment was great. It was just so good to me. I just love that shit. Anyone who ever talks shit about the Miz, I'll just be like, "You're no friend of mine, dude," because it's just good. It's just so good at like what he does.
Yeah,
like he deserves to have another run at the title at some point. I'm gonna say it. I think he does. I mean, his in-ring work is not the best. He can't catch people, but like, is a great character, and it's like a great heel, man. It's just good. It's not boring like Del Rio or Sheamus either. You know, I don't know, but yeah, there it is.
He can be the annoying prick. He really will.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. But there's another Atomic Drop podcast. Keaton and I are talking about wrestling. Anything else you want to talk on? I think we've pretty much covered most of it. I didn't want to talk about much this time, but I think we've gone.
Yeah, no, it's just really excited for the future. Hopefully, WWE can keep up what they've been doing, because it's been really well. Hopefully, Lucha Underground can figure itself out. And hopefully New Japan can keep rocking.
Yeah, man. Everything's going pretty good. I'm excited. We don't know when the next takeover is. Hopefully we'll learn more about that in the next few weeks or so. At least I don't know. I don't think I know where it is. I don't think it's been announced yet. But always excited for that. And excited to see what happens with the Bullet Club. That'll probably pan itself out by the time we come to our next one. So let's wait and see. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Or listening, whichever you're choosing to do. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Bye.
See you later, guys.